All right, so first things first, we have the State Bicycles box here. Boom, I have already cut open the top, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing unboxed, pull everything out of the packaging, and get it ready to build. As you can see, pretty much the whole thing comes pre-assembled, so there's not gonna be a ton to do here. It shouldn't take me too long to build this thing up. I'm hoping I can get it done in less than like 20 or 30 minutes, but we'll see. This is the first fixie I've ever actually built, and there are a few critical upgrades I'm gonna go ahead and take care of while I'm first putting it together. I don't necessarily trust that State put it together correctly. Maybe they did, but hey, it's always worth checking your own equipment, making sure everything is torqued how it's supposed to be, and then we'll go from there. Got my fancy seat post, and that's actually what's gonna be going on first. Just that way I can go ahead and hang this thing from my park tool stand that I have right there. Just a quick note on the packaging. Everything's pretty straightforward. I was pretty happy with it overall. I saw nothing that was super scary. I will say that this stuff here, if you just look at how durable that might be, it is just cardboard, and this wrapping is just this thin layer of foam. So I will say that if anything's dented, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. I'm hoping that's not the case, but overall, yeah, packaging, a little bit to be desired. But you know what's funny is I've actually heard other people say the same thing about some State bikes. The biggest scary part though is gonna be the carbon fork, and it looks like they did do a good job with bubble wrap on the carbon fork. So I'm hoping that nothing is wrong with the lowers or the actual carbon fork itself or anything like that. They pre-installed the stem here too, so that's holding it in place. And it looks like they also didn't go overboard on the spacers. They put a couple, it looks like 20 mils in here. That's nothing too crazy. I will probably end up swapping my stem entirely, but for now, I think that this'll make do. And then, you know, once I figure out where I need to be, I can switch my stem out completely, turn it over, whatever I need to do to make sure this works for me. Brakes, a bunch of stuff I don't need, and pedals, which I also don't need because I'm going to put my Asioma power pedals on this bike once I get it built up. I'm gonna go ahead and throw my bars on real quick. So I just picked these up on Amazon. They were relatively cheap, nothing too crazy. Overall though, it was probably the move. I don't understand why the State Black Label was sold out with drop bars. Maybe they're out of drop bars, but yeah. They had it with the riser bars. I didn't really understand the difference, so I just went ahead and rock and rolled with it, and then got the bars that would just go ahead and fit this, no problem. Now, if you want to see something kind of cool, this is the easiest way I've found to get bars in without having to pull this whole thing off and then realign all your bolts. I'm probably gonna have to swap tubes anyway because there's a 99.9% chance that while I'm doing this, I am definitely gonna pinch a tube. Yeah, these tires, goodness gracious, who knows what the heck is going on with these? Get off of there. There's nothing soft about these bad boys though, that is for dang sure. Looks like it's still holding. Maybe I'll reuse that too. Basically, I'm freaking trying to put my tube and tire on, and it shouldn't be this complicated. So, got the Corsa halfway on, gonna finish putting it on the rear wheel. I will say, Corsas are super tough to deal with when you first put them on because they have zero shape to them. So when you're putting them on, it's just a nightmare getting the tube in there and everything until you air them up a couple times, and then they're fine. I barely got this fucking thing on here. And now I'm just like pouring sweat. Alright, I'm going to the bar. I'll finish this freaking build tomorrow, but for now I'm gonna pump this shit up and make sure the tire's not gonna flap. Like I said, the Corsas are like the hardest tires to get on the first time. And they're usually, once they're molded and you've been riding them for a while, they're not that bad. No leaks, that's a good sign. Put this thing on the bike, and then I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow morning because I'm out of here for a little bit. Okay, welcome back folks. I guess, welcome back for me. I got sick of trying to get these stupid tires on these rims last night. I left and I went and shot some pool and drank some beers instead because I felt like that was a better use of my time. But anyway, back to finishing this up since it's the next day for me. I did get the tires on here eventually. A little bit of a struggle, but now that everything's on here, I'm gonna go ahead and finish wrapping my bars. I'm gonna go ahead and get my chain tension adjusted to be correct, tighten up the rear wheel here, get everything straightened out and ready to go. So without further ado, let's jump into taping the bars. Not too shabby, I'd say, for my first ever time taping bars. Now I'm probably gonna be much worse at taping this direction just because I'm not left-handed and I'm going left. And I don't know, I'm bad at going left anything, so we'll see how this works out. One thing I don't understand is the whole like compensating outside in thing. I know you're supposed to wrap like a little bit tighter in here and then come a little longer on the outside. And hopefully get some good stretch. But the cat is down there playing with the dangling bar tape stuff. Alright, well one side obviously looks much better than the other, but I'm not gonna tell you which. Got my bar plug in there and everything all taped up, but man, first time ever taping bars, boom, we're done. I recommend just trying it yourself and learning it. Seems like a valuable skill because I don't know. I've been kind of afraid to do it for I don't know how long, but now not so much. All right, now I've got the 15 mil, got some channel locks. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure my chain tension and everything is exactly as it's supposed to be. So I want a little bit of deflection in there, but nothing too crazy. And that's just to make sure that I don't put any like unnecessary strain on my drivetrain. Also, I gotta center up the wheel because as you can see, it floats a little bit in between the chainstays here. So once I get that dialed in, I'll be ready to go. Chain, pretty good tension here, a little bit of deflection. Got it pulled back pretty good in the chain stays, got about half an inch up, half an inch down. Feels pretty solid there. Yeah, wheel looks pretty close to center from at least my angle. And that is directly behind here. So yeah, should be good to go. There is something super important I have to take care of, and that is getting rid of all of this crap. Done. Time to take these off. Alright, so the bike is basically built. Now I just need to get it off the stand and then make sure that my stem and everything is perfectly straight over the top of my front wheel. Also, I want to get my front wheel on the ground just to make sure the dropouts and the axle and everything is threaded in there nicely and everything is attached really well at the front end also. I'm excited for this thing. And then hopefully I can get out and take it for a little cruise around the neighborhood. Alright, saddle height is dialed. Alright guys, so I realized when actually editing this thing, I'm in the editing hole right now, that I never actually filmed the end of this video. So, real quick, I did not take it out for a cruise, but I have been racing track on this bike for weeks now. Stay tuned for a lot of new, cool track racing content coming. I hope you guys enjoy that stuff. I will dive into some of the upgrades I've already made on the bike, but the thing rides like a dream. I love racing it. It's honestly a blast, and it's a new discipline that I've really fallen in love with. So, stay tuned for that. If you guys want to see more, subscribe to the channel, like this video, share it with more people on YouTube, and I'll see you guys soon.